everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Janice and you're watching Travel with Janice. So I make videos about how you can teach abroad as a native and non-native English speaker, and I also dabble in making vlogs about my life. I do apologize if you hear a clock in the bell in the background, or like what sounds like a telephone. I live very close to a school. Actually, I live behind a primary school, so it gets quite noisy, but I am trying to be consistent. So today's video, I will be talking about part 2 of my series, Securing Your TEFL Job. In the previous video, I spoke about your resume, how to tailor your resume to your employer's needs to make you stand out more and get the job. So the topics that we'll cover today is some common questions you can expect to be asked for your TEFL interview, and just some ways in which you can answer them. First questions are usually very general, and the interviewer is just trying to see if you will be a good fit for the job. So question number 1 would be something: why do you want to be an English teacher or a foreign teacher? And a good way to answer this question would be saying something like, I enjoy helping students build their communication skills, and teaching English allows me to connect with diverse cultures while making a positive impact on their education and future opportunities. Okay, so the next question is, why do you want to teach in this specific country? So if you are applying to, say, China, for example, you would say something along the lines of, China's rich history and culture and commitment to education is very appealing to me. I'm looking forward to contribute to the country's growing demand for English, as well as experience the traditions firsthand. So I think for this question, it's important to speak or mention something about the country, as well as the education system, because you are applying to be a teacher. So it is important to mention something about the education in general. Okay, so the next question is question number 3, which is, why do you want to teach English? For this question, the purpose is to gauge your motivation and your dedication to the field. So when answering, make sure that you emphasize your passion for teaching and your love for languages, as well as emphasize the impact that you want to have on your students. So when you answer, you can say something along the lines of, I'm going to read my answer. I love seeing the confidence and opportunities that mastering English brings to students. It's rewarding to be part of their journey towards achieving their academic and career goals. So the next question is question number 4, which is, do you have any teaching experience, or do you have any teaching experience as an ESL teacher? And for this question, if you don't have any formal teaching experience, you can use any sort of volunteer work that you've done, and any kind of work that was related to kids you can mention over here, as well as any transferable skills that you think will be beneficial for working with kids, you can also mention. So my answer will be based along the lines of, I have 3 years ESL experience teaching to high school students in South Korea. And prior to that, I worked as an au pair in America, as well as a homework facilitator, assisting children with homework in various subjects. Okay, question number 5, which is, tell me about yourself. So the purpose of this question is just to assess your personality and your suitability for the role. So number 1, make sure that you tailor your answer to the role, showing and providing enthusiasm for the opportunity. Number 2, provide like a brief overview and background of your relevant teaching experience. And number 3, just mention why you are passionate about teaching English. And so an example of a response would be, I am a certified TEFL teacher with 3 years of experience teaching English to high school students in South Korea. I'm passionate about creating engaging lessons and helping students build confidence in their English skills. Okay, question number 6 is, how would you handle classroom management. So the purpose of this question is to assess your ability to maintain discipline and engagement. So I would highlight clear expectations and also make sure that the lessons are engaging. So an example of a response would be, I set clear rules and expectations from the beginning and focus on building rapport with students. For instance, I once dealt with a disruptive student by involving them in class activities, which reduced their behavior and improved their participation. For younger students, I would use reward system. Number 7 is, how would you adapt your teaching to accommodate learners who have different language levels? So for this question, they want to assess and ensure that you are making your lesson effective for all students regardless of their proficient level. So a good example of how to answer this is, my approach to teaching mixed level students classes focuses on ensuring that every student is engaged and challenged appropriately. For example, advanced students might work on open-ended tasks while beginners focus on structured exercises. I also use group work to encourage peer learning, ensuring all students are engaged and challenged. The next question is, how would you deal with a student that is not participating? The purpose of this question is to assess your empathy and your problem-solving skills. So I would say, I'd first try to understand why they're not participating by observing or speaking to them privately. For here, you want to gauge if the student understands the lesson, and if not, just explain the instructions again and then have them participate. Or then I would adapt my approach, like pairing them with a supportive peer and making sure that there are activities that they can also be involved in, because like I said, you will most likely have students that are advanced and lower level students in your class. Okay, the next question and the final question is, what challenges have you faced as a teacher and how did you overcome it? So for this question, I would say something along the lines of, share a specific example. So like, I once had a mixed level class. So I created differentiated activities to cater to both advanced and beginner students. So over here, you want to highlight the outcome as well. This approach ensured all students felt challenged and included. So that comes to the end of the questions that I have found, but there is a plethora of other questions that you can find on YouTube, as well as I will link another video that I did about teaching abroad and interview questions specifically for South Korea. But you can go over practicing those questions as well and just apply it to the country that you will be heading to or applying to. And then it also has a demo lesson, I believe. But my next video will be an introduction and maybe a demo lesson video. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you found this helpful and that you are one step closer to securing your TEFL job. See you next time. Bye.